I went to LinkedIn, as I said in the last three shows, and began to search for good people who knew about real estate and were very interested in talking to you about what they do and how they might do it a little bit differently than somebody else. Along those lines is Clinton Brown from Keller Williams Westside Realty. Really appreciate him on the show. Clinton, how are you?
Hey, I'm doing well. Thanks for having me, Jeff.
And thank you very much. Again, this is the first conversation I've had with Clinton, so welcome and thanks for coming on once again.
Appreciate it.
Okay, so tell us about the business. It says Westside, and I'm sure everybody knows where the Westside is, but if you could describe where your business mostly lies, that'd be great.
Yeah, so my group, Brown Realty Group, we are with Keller Williams Realty Westside, and that's my area of focus is in Palms and the surrounding area. So that's between Culver City and Cheviot Hills.
Okay, very good. Now, specifically, some of the issues that you deal with in your neighborhood that people may not be aware of, you're fairly close to major city intersections down in the Palms area, so it's a high-density living. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay, and what are some of the issues that you might deal with high density that people who are listening to the show would also appreciate?
Well, I think when I talk to the property owners, because we have a mix of single-family homes as well,
right?
And the owners, they don't want to sell. They love the neighborhood. What about investing that equity, the equity that they have accumulated in their home, to leverage the property that they have to invest in our community and purchase a multifamily residential building, which is an income property.
Right.
So essentially, we have a really great opportunity for a lot of people that want to invest in LA, especially because our neighborhood is at the center of this growth of Google's moving in at
right.
Westside Pavilion. We have Culver City over there with Apple employees moving in. So this is a neighborhood that young professionals really enjoy, and it's walkable. And so when I talk about people is, the equity. If they have equity, it's a great time to put that money to work.
Now, are you saying equity in their home in your area, take that money out and buy something additionally in your neighborhood?
Yeah, or if they're in LA,
right.
If they're looking to have an income property, the equity that a lot of people have accumulated over the past few years, isn't really working for them if they're not able to use it. And, they want to stay in their home. There's lots of advantages to having passive income.
Right.
So, and rents, and actually the biggest demographic of renters that are growing are, according to California Association of Realtors, are people that make $150,000 or more a year.
Right.
So there's an opportunity out there for these rents that are increasing and these and the ability for people to invest their equity.
Okay, tell us a little bit about the availability of properties in your particular area now that we're talking about taking equity out, possibly putting it back into the neighborhood. What are some of the opportunities that you see?
Well, I see a lot of opportunities in the there are a lot of times where developers want to purchase a building and then tear it down and rebuild something else. But there's a lot of opportunities to invest in the existing infrastructure that we have. We have some great buildings that were built, in the 70s, 80s, that just need to be renovated a little bit, and so there's an opportunity there. So you don't have to go full on,
right.
developing and all that. I mean, I think when people think of, buying a residential building, they think, oh no, it's going to be a process as far as, tearing it down, all this, but you don't have to do that. We love the character of the neighborhood, and a lot of people would, I think, appreciate more the fact that we could renovate some of these buildings instead of just, tearing them down and building bigger buildings.
What do you like to do more? Do you like more of the interaction or the development part?
I like both. I like the fact that, I love hearing how people, their story, their situation, what it might be personally, and how we can get them from point A to point B. There's a lot of different aspects of the job that are very important, but the main focus that I have is focusing on the people and their needs and how we can get them from point A to point B.
How are you getting your investors, people that are interested in doing some of this, or because you've been doing it so long, they're coming to you?
Well, a little bit of both, but
Uh-huh.
I'm an old-fashioned. I like to door knock, call people. So I farm, quote unquote, farm my neighborhood in respect to that. Especially, I like to get out and hear people in their conversations and what's going on. And I think that that's the best way when you meet somebody at their door and you have that intimate conversation about, their situation. And it's a nice feeling to be able to help them, if I can help them.
How are you combating the newer generation? And I don't even know how old you are. You could be the newer generation. What do I know? But there is such a move to doing everything through your phone or online and not necessarily face-to-face. I happen to agree with you about face-to-face. I think it's the only way to do real estate. But how do you draw in people who aren't necessarily of the same mindset?
Yeah, so I'm 32, so I guess I'm millennial generation.
Uh-huh.
However, I think so. We have our social media outreach, Clinton LA Home. Anybody can go there and see our team. In addition to that, I mean, I like to reach whatever the client prefers for their communication.
Yeah.
We try to do the best we can as far as the outreach, because I know that a lot of, like you said, it's more convenient. A lot of people to send a text and pick up the phone.
Right.
But I like both. I think that the part of this job is the interaction with people and the trust that you build. So, yeah. So I think that we want to because the real estate market is shifting, to the more of that streamlined process.
Yes, it is.
And we want to stay ahead of the curve. And but I think that the one thing that can't replace is that relationship with the realtor that you build and that face-to-face communication. And I think I hope that'll always be an aspect of the job that will be there.
Well, in the lending world, I can tell you that the drive to technology is making the interaction between people who do the business and the customers less and less likely. And the reason for that is cost, right? I mean, if you're not making the money you were making 2 years ago, where can you learn to either cut costs or improve efficiencies? And either way, that eliminates people. And so I don't know if real estate itself can be bought and sold by that, but are you intimidated or scared by some of the discount realtors that are out there selling your services short?
No, I mean, I think the competition for the market's good. And, one thing about this job is that it changes, just like your, mortgage industry.
Right.
There's lots of changes. And you have to, kind of roll with the changes, so to speak. And I think, whatever you can do to, implement these, if it's better for the consumer, then, hey, I'm all for it, So
Right.
we have to adapt to those, because it's consumer driven. And, a lot of the times this is if they're not buying their first home or their second home, or that they're going to be, investing in income properties, this is a big decision. And I think that, I think a lot of people want that, that reassurance, that face-to-face, even though, a lot of stuff can be automated.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think there's a blend there somewhere, and I don't know what that's going to cost or how much money you can make in the future, but I think exactly like you do, you cannot replace the people in the equation, but at the same time, there are efficiencies that can be better handled through technology.
Absolutely.
You know what? Our time's up. Clinton, thank you very much for coming on the show. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, Jeff. And if anybody needs more information, it's Clinton LA Home, and I'd love to help, anybody out there.
Yeah, shout out your phone number if you would, please.
Sure. It's 310-487-6453.
Thank you.
And
Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. Oh, yeah. 310-487-6453.
Clinton Brown, thank you very much for coming on the show. I really appreciate it.
Thanks, Jeff.
Okay, and I'm Jeff Barton, your voice in the mortgage industry, and we'll see you next time.